Hello, today I will be presenting my ecological concept map. I organized this concept map as an ecological web because in ecology, ecology is based on interconnected systems and relationships. And instead of separating the topics into isolated categories, I connected them with arrows to demonstrate how the ecological processes continuously influence one another. In the center of the map, I placed ecology, of course, which represents the interactions between the organisms and their environment. Starting in the upper left corner with physical environment, I went ahead and put this one in the upper left corner. This includes climate and temperature, water availability, nutrient cycles, abiotic factors, and disturbances. And solar energy is very important because it drives the ecosystems. It basically drives ecosystems. You can see here that solar energy provides plants with the energy needed for photosynthesis, um, and which used by primary producers. Okay. Um, Climate and water availability influence also population growth and species distributions, um, ecosystem productivity, and evolutionary pressures as well, water availability and overall climate. Disturbances such as fires, storms, and volcanic eruptions can alter ecosystems and create environmental change. Um, because of this, physical environment is connected to nearly every other concept on the map. The physical environment connects directly to the biosphere, and the biosphere includes ecosystems, biomes, the atmosphere, the hydrosphere, and the lithosphere. I also wanted to include vegetation into this because vegetation is very important. Um, the vegetation allows for the transfer of energy from sunlight to the primary producers, which can then also go down the food web. Climate and soil conditions help determine vegetation and biome structure. And the biosphere is connected to populations, species interactions, and biogeography because environmental systems influence where organisms live and how ecosystems function in general. Biogeography is also connected to the biosphere and environmental conditions. In this section, I included species distribution, migration, climate zones, geographic barriers, and habitat fragmentation. Climate zones influence where organisms can survive, while geographic barriers can isolate populations and reduce gene flow. Habitat fragmentation caused by human activities can reduce biodiversity and alter ecosystem stability. And climate change can also shift species distributions and force organisms to migrate into new areas. At the top center of the map, I included population ecology. This section includes population growth, carrying capacity, density dependence, dispersion, survivorship, and reproductive success. Population ecology focuses on how populations change over time and how environmental conditions regulate population size. Carrying capacity limits population growth because resources such as food, water, and space are finite. Density dependence can increase competition, disease, transmission, and predation pressure when populations become too large. Reproductive success and survivorship influences fitness and population stability, and population ecology is strongly connected to competition, predation, parasites, and life history because species interactions directly affect population dynamics. One of the most interconnected sections of the map is evolution and variation. In this section, I included natural selection, adaptation, mutation, gene flow, fitness, selection pressure, and genetic variation. Phenotypic variation and heritable traits Variation is very important because natural selection cannot occur without differences between individuals in a population. Natural selection drives evolution by favoring traits that improve survival and reproductive success. Mutation and gene flow increase genetic diversity, while predation, competition, um, parasites, and environmental conditions create selection pressure that influences adaptation over time. Evolution is connected to behavior, life history, populations, and species interactions because ecological pressures continuously shape organisms over time. Behavioral ecology is another section that I went ahead and included in the concept map. Um, in this section, I included foraging behavior, mating behavior, territory, cooperation, and predator avoidance. Behavior ecology examines how behaviors improve survival and reproductive success of organisms. Foraging behavior affects how organisms obtain resources. Territoriality can reduce competition, and predator avoidance behaviors reduce the risk of predation. These behaviors are shaped by natural selection. Because these behaviors improve fitness, are more likely to persist within the populations. Um, and in the center lower section, I included species interactions. This section includes predation, parasites, competition, and mutualism. Predation regulates populations and creates selection pressure that drives adaptation and evolution. Parasites reduce host fitness and can lead to coevolution between hosts and parasites. Competition occurs when organisms compete for limited resources such as food, water, territory, or mates. Competition can limit population growth and influence natural selection. Mutualism is a relationship in which both species benefit from each other, such as pollinators and flowering plants. These species interactions demonstrate that organisms continuously affect one another within ecosystems. On the top right side of the map, I included life history. It's more towards the middle. This section includes reproduction, survival, growth, energy allocation, and trade-offs. Life history strategies explain how organisms allocate energy towards growth, survival, and reproduction. Trade-offs often occur because investing more energy into one function may reduce energy availability for another function. So these strategies are influenced by environmental conditions, species interactions, and evolution. Life history connects directly to reproductive success, fitness, and population dynamics. At the bottom of the map, I included global ecology. This section includes climate change, carbon cycling, human impacts, biodiversity loss, and global nutrient cycles. Global ecology examines ecological processes on a worldwide scale, and climate change affects ecosystems by altering temperatures, precipitation patterns, species distributions, and species interactions. Human activities such as pollution, habitat destruction, and resource exploitation contribute to biodiversity loss and environmental instability. Carbon and nutrient cycles also influence ecosystem functions and climate regulations. This is because global ecology connects to populations, biogeography, conservation, and ecosystem stability. Finally, I included conservation biology. This section includes biodiversity protection, endangered species, habitat restoration, and sustainability, ecosystem management, and conversation actions. Conservation actions. Conservation biology focuses on protecting ecosystems and maintaining biodiversity. Conservation depends on understanding ecological relationships and population dynamics, evolution, and environmental change. Habitat restoration and sustainable management strategies help protect ecosystems and for future generations. And I connected conservation to nearly every section of the map because successful conservation requires understanding how ecological systems are interconnected. And overall, this concept map demonstrates that ecology is a highly interconnected and dynamic system. Environmental conditions, populations, evolution, species interactions, behavior, and global processes all continuously influence one another. Changes in one ecological process can affect many other systems throughout an ecosystem. Understanding these relationships is essential for studying ecology and addressing environmental challenges such as biodiversity loss and climate change. Um, this concludes the my ecological web. Um, Again, I would like to emphasize that conservation actions are is what is needed right now, given the loss of biodiversity that we've seen so far, and the climate change as a whole. So conservation actions really do help protect species. They help protect habitats, they help protect ecosystems, and they help support future generations. And it's up to us to go ahead and make sure that we are doing everything in a sustainable way so that um, we're not using up all of the resources that Earth has to offer for us. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the ecological map that I had made. Um, Again, thank you.